We're into the top 20 now on TSN's list of the top 50 NHL players. Mitch Marner comes in at number 14 in our top 50 as he starts a new chapter of his career in Las Vegas. Frankie, Marner, career high 102 points last season. Does that number go up or down in his first season in Vegas?
I'm going to say that number goes down in his first season in Vegas, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Mitch Marner's been a 99-point player. He's been a 97-point player. The reality is there's just a little bit of an adjustment. Changing organizations, changing cities, different line mates, finding that cohesion, and getting back to being an 100-point player. It took him 9 years to get there in very familiar circumstances in Toronto. And listen, if he hadn't missed games in those previous years, he would have been a 100-point player probably 3 times over by now. But the fact remains that there's going to be a lot of variables that have changed around Mitch Marner. And if he has a 95, 96, 97-point season, the Vegas Golden Knights don't care. They just want to win, and they've brought in Mitch Marner to get back to a Stanley Cup and win a Stanley Cup. I know if you're talking to Toronto fans, that seems counterintuitive, but they obviously believe in him, and they don't care if he's a 100-point player. So for Mitch Marner, it's not about 100 points anymore. It's about trying to win, just this time with a different organization.
Yeah, to Frankie's point, I mean, he's been a 100-point player. He's been right on the fringes of 100 points in different seasons. This is an elite player. And there is always going to be a period of adjustment, new line mates, new defensemen that he's trying to get a feel for. And through that process, Mitch Marner will learn. He's shown that he's an exceptionally good learner and a quick learner at times. But the Vegas Golden Knights are not going to rely on Mitch Marner to the same extent that the Toronto Maple Leafs did with respect to offense. They're a lot more balanced throughout their lineup, and I think that that helps the Vegas Golden Knights do what their objective is, which is to go deep in the playoffs and compete for a Stanley Cup. And Mitch Marner will help them do that. Can he get 100 points? Yes, but I don't think we'll see it this year in Vegas.
All right, let's get to Sidney Crosby now. And he's kind of like a metronome. He ranks 13 this year. He was 14 last year, 13 again the year before that. Craig, the expectations of the Penguins as a team this year are really low. But what do you expect from Crosby individually?
Well, Gino, I think that's a really simple answer. For 20 consecutive seasons, Sidney Crosby has averaged a point or more per game played. He broke Gretzky's record, which I never thought would be broken. He shows no signs of any drop in his abilities and his production. And when you think about what Sidney Crosby does on a team, he's not surrounded by a lot of talent, and he still continues to perform at an exceptionally high level. So what I expect from Sidney Crosby is no less than what I've seen the past 20 seasons. You throw in an Olympics in there where he's going to be the captain of Team Canada, and I don't think there's anything to make anybody think that Sidney Crosby is going to drop in his level of play.
Sidney Crosby, a model of consistency and the epitome of make those around you better. That's what Sidney Crosby does every single year. So it doesn't matter if he's playing with Brian Rust or Brian Rust gets traded, or if he's playing with Rickard Rakell and eventually Rickard Rakell gets traded. We'll see what direction the Pittsburgh Penguins go in, and we'll have a better idea of that about 2 months into the regular season. But one thing is going to remain constant in Pittsburgh. Sidney Crosby is going to put up big numbers, is going to try and win, going to try and lead the way any possible way he can, and there's going to be a significant hunger there because of what Craig mentioned. Of course, there's an Olympics on the horizon. Sidney Crosby wants to be having the best possible season he can have prior to that. So regardless of what happens in Pittsburgh, we can expect consistency from Crosby and making those around him better off for playing with him.
He is such a legend. All right, let's talk Jack Hughes. He comes in ranked 17th. That's actually a drop from where he's been the past couple of years on our list. He's missed 20 games in each of his last 2 seasons. If Hughes can manage to stay healthy all season long, what's the ceiling for this guy at just 24 years of age, Frankie?
Gino, that's a big if, and it's crazy to say that because he is only 24 years old. But if he can stay healthy all season long, he's right up there, like top 5 NHL player with McKinnon, McDavid, Makar, Kucherov, Draisaitl. That's how good this guy can be, especially on a night-to-night basis in the NHL where you get, teams on the second half of back-to-backs and scheduled wins. Jack Hughes can really take advantage of those types of situations. There's not many guys that are more shifty and elusive than him. He's in an exclusive group, but that's the group. So if he can stay healthy and he can find a way to produce the way he has in a points per game pace, then I think Jack Hughes is right up there, top 5, 6, 7 player in the NHL.
You will get no argument from me, Frankie, and health has been a big part of it. But a healthy Jack Hughes has been a dynamic player. He's been a difference maker. The New Jersey Devils are nowhere near the same team without him as they are with him, because he has that quality of being able to make things happen quickly, put defenders and opponents back on their heels, and produce. You don't get what he's been able to do this early in his career on a point per game basis. And a healthy season, no question in my mind, he can exceed the triple digits and get into 100 points or more.
Just one day remains on our countdown of the top 50 players in the NHL, the top 10 to be revealed on Friday.